So I've been lean for well over a year now, whilst building muscle, whilst controlling cravings, whilst actually loving my diet. And it didn't come through luck. It didn't come through genetics, didn't come through some magic exercise, some magic diet, food, some magic supplement. It came through rewiring my brain and actually having the correct identity and mindset and overcoming a lot of limiting beliefs. And in this video towards the end, I interview one of my clients. Okay, and we go over exactly like how he made this transformation, exactly how he overcame his limiting beliefs. But before I get into that, this is going to be very useful for you to know. I'm actually going to share a lot of my own limiting beliefs, which kept me stuck, and how I actually overcame them. Okay, and it's a raw video, right? So, if you haven't got the attention span to sit down and watch me for 20 minutes throughout like the interview and this, then you're probably not ready mentally or physically for a transformation like this. But there were quite a few. I had about 9 or 10 limiting beliefs, and the first one was that hard work got me results. I used to think the more work that I put in, the more results that I would get. I thought like if I showed up day in, day out, that I would just get in the best shape of my life and maintain it. Like that was genuinely what I thought. But it's like, that this video was made at the time of the World Cup. England showed up against Argentina and lost. They worked hard. They did everything possible and they still lost. It's the same in the physique game. You can work hard and show up day in, day out, even for years, and not see results. Because if you're not working in the right direction, then you're not going to get to the destination. It's like you're driving and the map's not there in the actual right destination, right? So it doesn't work. The second limiting belief that I had was that my minimum was someone else's maximum. And it seems like, wait, is that not a good limiting belief to have? Because that my minimum amount of hard work is someone else's maximum. That was the old circle that you were in. That was the people who were around you, and that's who you were comparing yourself to. And if your minimum is someone else's maximum where you don't want to be, but that's who you're surrounding yourself with day in, day out, that's not a good environment to grow. As soon as I started surrounding myself with people where my maximum was their minimum, I started to learn off them, and then we ended up having very similar goals, right? Because I would grow with them. Because I used to think that I just had to be surrounded by people who's like, well, I didn't want to be. And it kept me stuck, and I kept listening to them. So as soon as I actually expanded who I was with, it helped me grow as well. Like when I had this very, very strong community, it completely changed the game for what was actually possible for my physique. Because as you know, I had a lot of limiting beliefs with that. The third limiting belief was never going all in on my health. And by all in, I don't mean saving like a Facebook or Instagram video. Like by going all in, I mean actually doing the uncomfortable things with my health. Actually getting my habits in place. Actually cutting off bad vices and bad habits. I'm not saying you need to live like a monk. That's not the point. The point is so you can actually enjoy yourself and be the best possible version of you and enjoy the moments with your family and friends. But by going all in, I mean actually doing the things which are necessary in order to move the needle. Not just cheating on my diet every week. I actually invested in coaches and mentorships. I got the guidance I needed. I put my back against the wall and I put skin in the game. I did the hard work, which is uncomfortable. I made uncomfortable decisions. And I went all in on myself, and I showed up regardless if I was motivated or didn't feel like doing it. I truly backed it with action. And that. As soon as I got rid of that belief as well, drove me even further to being ripped and maintaining it throughout the entire year. Another thing was comfort as default. Okay? Like, a lot of my decisions were based off what was comfortable. What was comfortable is what I do. If I didn't feel like doing that, I didn't do it. If I did feel like doing it, then I would do it. And it sounds obvious, like, oh, is that not how you should live? No. The most growth is on the edge of your comfort zone or outside of your comfort zone. I'm not saying you live your whole life in discomfort, but the more you make uncomfortable decisions outside of your comfort zone, where you think, damn, I'm not sure about that decision. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but you do it anyway. Damn, I don't want to do this, but it could be for the greater good. And then I do it, and then you end up better off. It's like, do you have a driver's license? Did you know 100% you were going to pass it? 100% guarantee. No, you didn't. But you still did it anyway. Why? for the greater good. There may be other moments in your life where you weren't 100%, sure. No guarantees you did it, even though it was uncomfortable, and you ended better off. Maybe a new job. You were uncomfortable before going in, and then you ended up actually being successful in the job. Or before you started your own business. You didn't know it was going to work, but you still did it anyway. It's the same thing. As soon as you stop relying on comfort and you start trying to make uncomfortable decisions in order to grow, that's when you actually train your mindset to make the correct decisions in order to actually not only grow your physique and get leaner, but just grow as a person as well. Because it's not about the physique, it's about who you become in that process. You are your habits. And that's literally exactly what I learned. The fifth is relying on push motivation. Okay? And just having some weak reason why. Just the difference between push and pull motivation is what I'll get into right now. Okay? If you just want to get leaner, or you want to look better, or you want to just like a weak reason, that's not what is going to keep you going. On that Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. after a long day's work, that's not what's going to keep you going and make you wake up with that drive to get in the best shape in your life. For me, I wanted to be the role model for my siblings. Okay, I wanted to be the best guy in shape, so I bring the best possible version of me for my future partner. I don't want to take my shirt off. My partner's like, damn, he's not taking care of himself. I'm not that attracted to him. I want to be the boyfriend who the partner does find attractive. I want to be the son for my parents who, when I meet family friends, they're like, oh, damn, that guy's fucking ripped. Right? I want to be the guy who walks on the beach when his shirt's off and his head's turning. That's what I wanted. That's such a fraction of the reasons why. I want to look in the mirror and feel genuinely confident. Genuinely happy and proud of the physique that I've sculpted. That is I want to be the role model for my kids when I grow up. That is literally exactly everything that I wanted. And when you have a weak reason why, don't be surprised why you end up cheating, because it's you haven't got a strong reason. If I told you to jump in a car, oh yeah, that it might be a good location. Yeah, it might be okay. Are you going to jump in the car? If I tell you in that car it's going to Cristiano Ronaldo's house, or maybe there's £1 million in the house, you'd be a bit more incentivized to go in there, right? Because you've got a stronger reason why. If I tell you that, you get up at 4 a.m., just get up at 4, you'd be like, maybe you get up at 4, maybe the snooze is there. If I tell you there's a holiday to the Maldives, you're going to get up at 4, you're going to get up at 3:59. You're going to be up before that. That's how it works, okay? Another one is just chasing the weight loss itself. That this adds to the push and pull motivation, right? If you're just chasing, just going down the way, yeah, it's good to work towards. You get the momentum, right? But you need that stronger reason why. You need that pull. Because when you're pushing, it's oh, I just want the weight loss. And it's push motivation. When you have a pull, it's like a magnet. So there's an electromagnetic, this sounds like I'm being quite extreme, but when there's an electromagnetic pull, taking a magnet towards the other opposing end, regardless of what's in the way, the magnet's still going to go to it. Whereas when you're pushing something, it just relies on external force. When you just want to lose the weight and get leaner, it's kind of you're just chasing a weight and it's push. But when you have that stronger reason why, it's literally like a pull. For me, I have that pull motivation because all my reasons, nothing's getting in the way of me now. Time, even if I've got a busy day, I've got that pull motivation to help me do it. So I know that's the partner I want to be. I know that's how I want to feel in the mirror. I have that pull. Even if there's excuses or stress or other things getting in the way, busy days in work, I'm still making the time to make it work because I have that pull motivation. When you get that pull motivation, then you're going to find the time regardless. And no stress or anything trying to get in the way, or holiday or anything is going to get in the way of me actually looking and feeling my best, okay? Another limiting belief was that I thought that slow decision making was fine. I thought taking a few days to think about my decisions, maybe I'll start the diet plan on Monday. I thought okay, yeah, I can wait till Monday because it's fine, right? It's only a couple of days. But what happens if in that couple of days before Monday, I start talking myself out of making a decision? What happens if I cheat on my diet on Monday and then I say next week Monday? Then next thing you know, there's a week later. But then, something else might have come up. And then you keep making those same excuses. Next thing you know, it's like 2 months later and you've barely made any progress. And in that 2 months, you could have lost weight. You could have looked a lot better. You could have had all these different things about you, but instead you take time with the decisions. As soon as I started moving with speed, and even if I wasn't 100% sure about something, I just made the decision. Even with the workout, I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to be the best workout. I still did it. I did it on the day. Even if with my diet, I wasn't 100% sure if the grass-fed ground beef or the normal ground beef. I just ate one of them and I moved on. Right? I gained momentum because I moved with speed. Because then the next thing you know, it's been a month and I've still been on it with my diet and my workout, and then I'm actually where I want to be. As soon as you start waiting for the perfect moment, which is never going to happen, guess what's good? Like, is anything perfect in the world? Is anything actually 100% perfect? No, but you just do it anyway and you learn. It's like the only way to learn how to ride a bike is not by waiting for the perfect moment to. It's by jumping on the bike and riding it. The only way to learn how to swim isn't waiting for the pool's not going to get any warmer, right? You just go in the pool and you learn to swim in the shallow end or in the deep end if you're if you're that guy, right? But the best way to do it is just by doing it at speed and then learning. Because when I used to wait for the perfect moment never came, and I'd just be behind than what I was before. I end up just like trying anyway. Okay? Like, another thing is comparing myself to the average person and the average gym goer. Like, when I used to compare myself to the average person, it was like copium. I'd be like, oh, the average guy is like out of shape. Okay? The average person in public is out of shape. So if I take a day off, it's fine. Or if I start later, it's fine. Or if I'm not the best possible version of me, it's fine because I'm better than average, right? Average is invisible. If you've been watching this video for this long, you don't want to be average. So why are you comparing yourself to the average person? It's copium. Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo compares himself to the average footballer who plays at school? That guy compares himself to like the elites of the elites. I'm not saying you need to be like Ronaldo. What I am saying, if you want to look like awesome, don't compare yourself to the average person. I wouldn't even compare yourself to the average gym goer. The average gym goer is 18% body fat. They're literally 18% body fat. They're like skinny fat. No offense, the average gym goer are not ripped. If you want to be the top 1% physique, you have to compare yourself to the top 1% person who even goes to the gym. Not Ronnie Coleman. I don't want to be a bodybuilder who's 5% body fat and geared up, but I want to be someone who actually looks good. And like, my limiting belief was when I used to compare myself to other guys who go to the gym, I might look a bit better than them. You need to compare yourself to guys who look awesome. Not in a bad way. Not to the fake naturals. But when you're actually surrounding yourself with the guys who actually look good and they take care of their body and their visible abs, that's who you're going to become, because you're being compared regardless. Your future partner's comparing you. Like, no one's going to be dishonest, but your future partner's comparing you and other options. She doesn't think, oh, he's better than the average person, so I'll go with him. Your son doesn't think, oh, my dad's better than the average person. No, your son compares you with everyone. And so does the partner, right? The world's full of comparisons, and it's like, when you actually use that as fuel and you set your standards so high, that's when you're going to see even more changes. And the final limiting belief was actually one of the biggest ones that I had to overcome, was that when I was actually at my worst a couple of years ago, and I was like, I put on some excess body fat, I didn't even think that I was capable of getting ripped. And here was the exact language that I used when I didn't think I was capable. Oh, I just want to get a bit leaner. Oh, as a first milestone, I want to just shift off some weight. That exact, because I was setting very minimalistic goals because I deep down didn't believe that it was possible to get ripped. If you knew for a 100% fact it was possible for you to get ripped, you would set the goal to look awesome. I'm not saying bodybuilder, I'm saying look awesome by your like 9 to 12% body fat, visible abs, defined arms, feeling great, high energy. You know, arms can fill out the t-shirts. That look where you're like lean and muscular. If you knew for 100% fact you get there, you'd set the goal there. So you need to step in the shoes of that guy and believe in yourself. Because when you set those minimalistic goals, you think you're being minimalistic, but you're actually just showing that you have that limiting belief. Like when I used to just want to just lose a little bit of weight, that wasn't enough. That was not enough. And that was actually my limiting belief, that I didn't believe it was possible to look ripped. I truly didn't have that belief because it's been such a long time since I looked good. And I was like, damn, I was kind of settling for being out of shape. If you actually want to step out of being out of shape, you need to make the uncomfortable belief in order to step into that version of you and actually believe you can get ripped and set a proper goal for yourself. Because if I gave you the option to look ripped, you take it. You take it in the finger snap. So that's how you're going to get rid of it. And now I'm going to get into an interview with one of my clients, Cosmo. This guy was coasting for like 6 years. 6 years. He was one of my good friends as well. He's still a good friend of mine. That sounds like he used to be, but yeah, I dive deep into a lot of limiting beliefs he went over and his transformation. And I really hope this helps you out. Let's get into it. Okay, so what is up? I'm with one of my clients, Cosmo. What do you want to say to the camera?
What's up, guys? Just chilling in Bali.
Yeah, so we're going to get into it. So can you tell me what your transformation was like whilst working with me?
Yeah, so I'll give a bit of background. So I've been going to the gym on and off since 2020. So I'd be going for basically a month and a half, and then I'd find some tiny excuse. For whatever reason, it could be anything. And then that would completely stop my gym progress for 6 months. I wouldn't go at all. And this happened for about, I'd say, 6 years until I contacted Rourke. And I was like, I got on a call with him. I was like, look, enough's enough. I've been in this revolving cycle for so long. Been wanting to change. So I've
made the step.
Yeah, 3.5 months in now. And I'm like genuinely in the best shape of my life. I've had people coming up to me who notice it. Like, that's never happened in my life before. When I've met someone, they've been like, oh, I can see like your chest is popping, your shoulders are coming out. Like, there is like a tangible difference as such.
Yeah, no, and how does that feel though? Like, how does that feel when people actually say that to you and they notice the difference?
It's good. Like, obviously try and be like, I'm a fairly humble guy. I like to think, but it's like
sometimes you gotta be.
Yeah, it is a nice feeling. Like, it's like when your friends or close family members say it, it's like, you know that the progress is coming. Obviously, I've got more to go to, and like I've got more coming with this, but.
I was only 3.5 months in, you know, so yeah, you got more to go. And I know you mentioned about you've been plateaued for all those years. So obviously, me and Cosmo were at school together back in the day, and obviously, yeah, that was definitely what we went over on our initial consultation. But you mentioned about how you were like plateaued, and it was very inconsistent with like your training and eating.
Mm-hmm.
Was that like your main problem, would you say, or what other problems?
Yeah, like the thing is, I'm fairly competent with, going to the gym. I've been sporty, we're in the same sports teams at school, but this was just about leveling up, like coming up to the next echelon basically. Like, it'd been 6 years and we got on a call with Rourke, and he's literally like, I've known you for this amount of time and this has continued to happen, like, you got to take this step. So that was probably the biggest problem, just this continuous cycle of me going to the gym really well for a month and then completely stopping for half a year.
Yeah, because you weren't that overweight guy who's like
no.
BMI obese. It was like getting you from the guy like kind of trains to the guy who's looking awesome.
Yeah.
And what I want to ask is, why do you feel like you could have not made that consistency change in your physique and your habits by yourself?
I mean, to be honest, it was like a time thing. Like, it had literally been 6 years, and I had some of my mates being like, "God, you're starting to get a little bit like not fat, but it's like."
Yeah, I could put the pictures up now in the video.
We posted pictures and stuff, but it was getting to the point, and like my mates would kind of bring it up, and like I kind of saw it within myself, and I was like, "Damn, like I just need to get better at this." And then I'd say that's kind of the main reason why I was like, "Fuck it, I've got to do this."
Yeah, and like, how frustrating was that when it was 6 years of like that sort of constant on and off?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, I kind of got comfortable with it. Like, there was a huge element of comfort within this. Like, I'd go for 3 weeks, and then that would be like the best time of the year was when I was going to the gym. Like, I felt good, I was eating clean, my work was progressing. So like, gym is a factor of your whole life, and I really enjoyed it. But I always just like kept stopping, and it was like super annoying. But I just, for some reason, was like not fine with it, but it just always happened. And it was frustrating, obviously, but I could never get out of that cycle.
Yeah. No, I understand. And like, what sort of got you to get over the edge and actually reach out in order to join?
So this is an interesting point because I've known Rourke for like 8 years now. He's one of my best mates, and even then, like I've been following his account, been following his stuff, and it took lots of time for me to actually like say fuck it, like let me join. And it's yeah, it was like a process of weeks of me thinking about it, like oh my physique's not good. I think I just failed with the gym again, like I did a month well and then stopped. And then this is like another point for people who like are kind of skeptical. I've known Rourke for 8 years now, and I still have that same belief of like I don't know if I can trust this, like I don't know if I can go through with this. So if you guys are feeling it, like it's a universal thing. Like he's one of my best mates. I've known him for 8 years, so like don't worry, that's like a universal thing. But I don't know. I had a call with him and we discussed like what's been going on, how he's known me for 6 years, and like how he's seen me as a person. He's like, you got to change. So that's what I think.
Yeah, because I think like a big issue with a lot of guys is like the comfort zone. You know, it's like I even made a post where it was like being rock bottom is actually better than being comfortable because at least you have to make a change, right? And like comfortable guys stay that for a while. When obviously you speak with me and we go over everything, it's like it brings out your true bottlenecks and why you aren't ripped. Because obviously there's a reason why everyone's got their different reasons, and it's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Some people it's comfort, some people it's fear, and yeah, of course it's going to be scary. But for you, that like when you actually made that step, like what were your first impressions working with me?
So the first thing was like, so the main thing was the workouts. So the workouts was a big thing of like, for me, I'd been to the gym for like 6 years. So when Rourke was like, I'm gonna go completely over your workouts, I was like, look buddy, I know how to do this stuff, like, let me take it from here. But the thing is, if you actually want to progress, like, I've lifted the heaviest weight, like, I'd never even got remotely close to 30 kg, like, on dumbbell press. And within like 3 weeks, I was on those, and I had been previously doing like 22s, like some really lightweight, and that was like partially a mental thing, but also with like Rourke's guidance of like how he knows you should hit certain weights, and then like adjusting to that, like that was something that I thought was like really good, because the fact that I hit 30 kgs was like inconceivable to me within a 3 week time span. And then also with food, like probably my biggest problem hadn't been with gym, it was a lot to do with the food and like what I was eating and stuff.
Bro, I was a snacking fan.
Bro, I've like I don't know if it's a British thing, but like we are snackers at heart. So I was snacking and stuff. So the fact that like Rourke has been on top of me has been like, I've managed to go from when I'd have dinner. So my mum probably makes me food, like I'm lucky enough, but I would have like 3 big portions, like I was going at it. And then now with Rourke stuff, like my mindset has completely switched. Like I'll just have one dinner, like, and be completely comfortable with that. So it has completely changed everything. Obviously he goes through the calories and everything like that, but the biggest thing isn't like this like nitty gritties, it's the whole, like my mindset has changed with food. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, but like, you can know you have to eat in a calorie deficit and you can still be out of shape for the years. Like it's actually about becoming the guy. But like what would you say was the biggest problem we solved then from that, if you had to choose?
The biggest problem, so I've joined Rourke's thing, this is I think we're coming up to my 4th month now.
Yeah, 4th month.
And I haven't missed like a week of gym. That's 100% like the best thing that I've gotten from being with you. Like that has, from my 6 years of going to the gym, I've never hit it for a quarter of the year, literally, like a third of the year.
That was a killer.
So just literally joining that, I was like, bro, I've hit gym like I've never done it before. My eating's like I've never perceived it before. Just so many like good things have come from this.
Yeah, I mean that's like awesome to hear. And if we have to envision if you didn't join,
Yeah.
as I always go over, like you gotta look on the other side of the coin. If you didn't end up making that step, where do you feel like you'd be in your physique and habits and mindset and all that?
Like 100%. There's if you keep comfortable, like I have this mindset of like things will change just without even me doing it. Like if I just keep within my own path, something will change just randomly. But that's just outright not how life works. So if I didn't join, 1,000% I'd still be in that revolving cycle. Like yeah, I might have hit gym for 3 weeks or a month, but 100% like I'm in Bali now. I've had to get accustomed to things. I've had to try new things, and that would have been an excuse enough for me to completely stop going to the gym. Like, there's so many instances within the time frame that I've joined Rourke where I wouldn't have gone to the gym, but because he's got me under his wing and got me the guidance and he's pushing me to do it, I've gone and followed through with it.
Okay, awesome. And like, what would you say to someone who's in a similar spot to you, where they were like on the edge?
Similar, so literally my brother's on the program, and he was in the exact same spot as me. Like, I tested the program for about a month, and I was like, I'm seeing the results like through and through.
Yeah, his brother joined.
So I decided, I was like, you know what, I think my brother could definitely use this. Like, my closest family members, I was basically telling them, like, you have to join this. So it's not like a thing of like, we're mates and we're just doing this for like shits and gigs. Like, I actually see the value in it so much that I referred my family to it. Do you see what I mean? Like, that's a big thing for me. So someone who's looking to get over, like, honestly, having the first call with Rourke, he's amazing at getting you to understand your limiting beliefs. Like, on the call we had, I had at least 20 limiting beliefs, and we had a pretty short one. For anyone XYZ, you could find 50, 100, like, but he's amazing at finding them and going to like the deeper reason.
Yeah, because I understand it's harder for like obviously you guys watching this, because obviously you've known me a while.
Yeah.
And you know that I'm like not a serial killer in disguise. In disguise, but like even like the mates are coming in. Like, these guys obviously I already have a lot of rapport with them. So like, what would you say to someone who is like, they're literally on the fence about joining and they're like nervous? Have you got any final remarks?
I would say it's completely natural. Like, as I've said before, I've known this guy for 8 years, one of my best mates, literally like staying in his house in Bali. I can imagine for you guys, you're like, oh, this is just like a plot, you know? We're trying to do
bro's a guru right now.
Yeah, bro's a guru. But the thing is, like, I had my own limiting beliefs, and I've known this guy for 8 years. Like, it's a completely natural thing. So when you do have your first call with him, or you want to reach out to him, just know that that's like completely fine. Like, if I'm having that and I've known him for that long, 1,000% you guys will. So just know that, but that's part of the process.